Good morning, Patriots. JT here, Serenity Farms Prepping. I have a few questions for Comrade Doctor that weren't answered during his recent deposition. Okay, first, I'm still not sure whether that is under oath or not. Not that it matters at all to Democrats. First, let's start with Comrade Doctor's new middle name is, I don't recall, 174 times. Now, this is the guy who proclaimed himself to be science. No one could question him. Nothing that he said was allowed to even be looked at with a raised eyebrow because he was in charge, he's the man, and if you question him, you were questioning science. Like the difference between a man and a woman, science. Can't question that either. Anyway, so it was I was reading the transcripts. I can't stand to even look at the man, so I did not watch. But reading, I noticed a couple things that a couple other people also did that were clearly questions where he was lying in his answer. Here is I'll save the big one for last. Although they're all big, this to me is the biggest. Okay, somewhere in the deposition, after it was determined that him and Knuckleberger were thick as thieves, best buds, on a first name basis. Tony and Marky. Doctor was asked, do you know anyone who works at Twitter? Well, I don't do that social media thing. That stuff's all gobbledygook, way too advanced for me. No, do you know anyone who works at Twitter? Well, what do you mean by know anyone? Well, do you know anyone personally, friends, associates, etc., that works at Twitter? Well, yes. My daughter worked there. Your daughter worked at Twitter? Yes, until about a year ago. Interesting. Did you know? I didn't know. I don't think anybody knew except for Tony and the twits. So her position there, her area of expertise, shall we say, did involve having some science in here that could help with things that were being posted being not posted. You know what I mean? Alright. So, let's move on, and I think this is the big one. There were plenty, but so somewhere in the definition, they were like, here's some messages between you and Marky Mark, Tony. He is congratulating you and telling you millions of dollars will be set aside from Facebook for free ads and stuff to plug your thing. And thank you for getting that thing going. All right, we know Knuckleberger is a commie. We know he's a controlled oppo. But February 2020, Marky Mark made that statement to Tony. February 2020, let that sink in. When did El Warpo Speedo begin? Anyone? April 2020. Okay, I'm going to use some Common Core math, but February, March, April. So 2 months before the thing ever reared its evil head, Knuckleberger was congratulating Tony on putting it out. That question was not followed up on. Let's understate the obvious. How did Knuckleberger know that there was a wonderful thing happening when the thing hadn't even happened yet? And Tony, or Anthony to his really important peeps, said thank you on the congrats. But he didn't even know. Nobody knew in February that there was going to be some beautiful thing in April, but they're talking about it. Now, this is the same guy who, when turning down, blaspheming, sandling, libeling all these other wonderful items out there that could easily have fixed the non-existent scamorama, said there wasn't enough tests, there wasn't enough science, they weren't long enough, I didn't feel okay with them. But then comes out with a 100% total experiment with zero testing. Well, everyone who did the deed is the test. So, I mean, we all know the man is Nuremberg bound. Should be. But I have questions that no one followed up on. What about you? Like, share, subscribe, notification bell. www.storagechef.com. SFP15. My next delivery comes today. That's all I got for now. JT, signing off.